Bob Dylan to me. For some reason now, he's just Timothy to me.
Yeah, of course.
Which is weird. No, because Pete's Pete to me, not Graham. I would never call Graham Norton Graham.
He's not called Graham Norton, that's why, Edward.
Not?
I'm coughing as much. Oh, Jesus. Deep then, it was weird.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back. It's been a hot minute. How are you? How you doing? Okay, I don't know why that was funny. Anyway.
I was going to do the Joey thing from Friends.
How you doing?
How are you doing? And I was like, no.
And then you changed your mind.
Yeah.
We are GRZLY, and this is Press Pause.
Oh my god, you did it right.
I always do it right. It's you who does it wrong.
So I don't do it anymore.
Today we're going to be talking about A Complete Unknown. This is our first...
Wait. God.
Sorry.
I'm Kai.
I'm Ted. Sorry. Yeah, that's my
Wow. People are going to know who we are, even though... I'm sorry.
This is our first new film one. Although this probably will be out when it's been a bit late. But that means people will have watched it.
No, not necessarily. This is our third.
People are still making shit about Wicked. So. And when did Wicked come out?
Ages
ago.
Old news. I'm
well, you know what's new news? Timothy Chalamet with long fingernails.
Timmy.
I think his best acting... I haven't seen him in much, so I guess I can't say that. But it was a really good performance.
It was good. What I have seen him in, this is better.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him in movies that were particularly good. I feel like, oh, okay, no. Well, he did that one thing. He did that show where he was like, why don't I get to be who I am because I'm young? Why do you get to tell me who I don't know. He cries. And then he was good in Call Me By Your Name.
That was so funny.
Yeah, but I like that movie, but I hate on all the people who think it's like cute.
That's fair.
Because like, yeah, it's sad. But it's mostly sad because I feel like he doesn't realise there's an incredibly dodgy age gap.
Age gap is.
It's not about
He's 24.
the age gap. He's 17.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain he's 17. Google it. Right, I'm 17 and you're 18. Yeah. Right? We're the same age. Like, you know, like, it's not any more appropriate. It's more legal, but it's not any more appropriate for you to date a 24-year-old than me. I don't think. No. We're the same. Yeah. We're one in the same.
He is 17.
He's 17 and 24.
Oliver is 24, yeah.
That's bad. And the parents know, and they're like, it's okay, we appreciate that you're gay. Yeah, that's nice and all. Could you not say, be with a boy your own age, Timmy Tim?
Let me do the description.
Yes, describe the movie for us.
The ballad
of
a true original. Sorry, guys.
Yes.
New York, early 1960s, against the backdrop of a vibrant music scene and
tumultuous
cultural upheaval.
And upheaval is weirder than tumultuous.
Why?
Upheaval? What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
I mean, I guess I can't be... Well, anyway.
You didn't tell me, so you think probably not.
Stop! I can't stop wheezing. An enigmatic 19-year-old from Minnesota arrives...
You said he was 20.
Huh?
Oh, I guess that was a bit later. Anyway.
Arrives in the West Village with his guitar and a revolutionary talent, destined to change the course of American music. There we go.
You know what I think's interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and year, it came out 2024? 5?
2024.
Came out 2024, starring Timothy Chalamet, Elle Fanning, Graham Norton, the bitch that plays Joni. Sorry, I won't call her a bitch, actually.
Wow.
When I say, I feel like it sounds like I'm being, like, rude.
It does.
But I don't mean it in a mean way. It's like, you know, I'll be like, oh, the dude, the girl. Like, I don't mean it in a mean way. The girl that plays Joni.
Yeah.
I was talking about how talented of a singer she was, so...
Yeah, she was actually...
Yeah, she was incredible. Everyone was really good.
Everyone was really good. Has Edward Norton in it?
As Edward Norton, yeah.
That was my first note.
I noticed him, and I, like, went, look, and then kind of reacted, and then I thought for a lot of the movie it wasn't him, and I was crazy.
2 things.
Yeah.
When you did that, I was having a coughing fit in the cinema, and I felt bad because I was having a
tears
coughing...
in your eyeballs, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt so bad. Second thing, in the first part of that movie, he does not look like himself. Guys,
That's
spoiler
true.
warning.
Why?
Because we should spoiler warning this. Out of all movies, this should definitely
This is a brand
be
new
spoiler
movie.
warning.
This
Spoiler
movie,
warned.
this is gonna be like a 1.5 hour podcast episode talking about one movie. So if you didn't think there was gonna be any spoilers in it,
That's
you should
true.
reevaluate
Yeah.
how you think about things. But not to insult you. Go watch the movie and then
At the cinema.
at the cinema or in the comfort of your own home if you have the means to.
That's
But
true.
I find that highly unlikely. If you made the movie and therefore have the rights to, then please.
Then, oh my
listen.
god, you're listening to our episode. That is great.
Thank you. Please promote it. Please play it in the cinema.
Send it to Timmy.
Send it to Timmy T. See what he thinks. Anyway, about the movie. So
Yeah. That's why we're here.
also another quick thing that's not relevant to the movie. That Led Zeppelin documentary looked really good.
I knew you were writing about that to say here. I knew it. I saw you scribbling down.
Why is that a bad thing?
I just...
Can I not say I want to see the Led Zeppelin documentary and not be shamed for it? I've heard things about Robert Plant and him being a bad person, and I want to see the documentary. And
What's
see
he done?
I don't know. I don't know what he's done, but I think that it would be interesting.
Controversies.
Yeah, see, he looks up the real things you should search when you're trying to find stuff, and I put, is blank a bad person?
Why do so many people hate Robert Plant?
Have you found out? I like his
Too
name.
many words.
I really like his name. Let me look. If it's too many words for you, because I can skim read and find the keywords. Yeah, it sounds like people are just mean to him. But I don't know. It could be that he actually did something really terrible that's just not showing up on there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
who cares?
Okay, sorry. Clearly someone doesn't want to see the Led Zeppelin documentary. You want to start some...
Characters.
Yeah.
I actually really like Pete.
I really liked Pete. I had dwindling opinions on him towards the end.
Yeah.
But I really liked Pete for like 80% of this film. He was really nice. I expected him at some point to like go downhill and become unlikable, and
Yeah.
he didn't really. Like
No.
obviously there was the issue at the end, but he didn't become unlikable. He just...
I think we've spoken about this, and I think the end could be explained. It's like, obviously, there is negative parts, but it depends whose side you're on.
Yeah, that's true. You could be on either side, and I'm on a mix of the two. But I think I expected him to start being like jealous and all this, and he wasn't like really at all. So I appreciate that about Pete. I liked Pete. One thing I would really like to say, it's not in characters, but it's not in any others, so I'd like to say it, is Elle Fanning's character says like about how he like no one knows him and all this stuff, right? And like she doesn't know anything about his past. And I think it's interesting that you never do in the movie. You never find out any of the stuff that she wants to know about him ever.
That's true.
So
Never ever.
no, he's a sneaky guy. Anyway, I liked Elle Fanning's character Sylvie.
Yeah.
She played her well, I think. Like how at the beginning she was very spirited and she lost it through him, which is really sad, actually.
Yeah.
I hope she's good now. If she's alive
I just felt
now.
bad for her the whole time because he like went up to her at the beginning
Yeah.
and he had just like flirted, well maybe not just, it obviously time skips and stuff, but just flirted with
Joan.
Just like kind of like, I don't know, it looked like he was looking at the woman who was working at the recording desk, but it might have been the man because he did ask about it either way, and then goes up to her and just like, because he noticed that she was looking at him, it felt bad.
It's just like he goes for whatever woman is accessible, and then wants whatever woman he didn't pick.
Literally, that's why he's going
all the time. So he just keeps going between the two,
True.
and it sucks.
They don't deserve that.
Actually, no. Now that I think about it, he only picks Sylvie when she's accessible, and he always wants Joan.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
he doesn't even want Joan that much. Not enough to treat her well.
No.
This is one thing that we both need to bring up, is that Bob Dylan, in this movie, he comes across as a dick.
Yeah.
And I bet a bunch of teenage boys who like Bob Dylan don't think so.
Probably.
But he does. I think that the thing is, I kind of already knew he was one.
I didn't know much about.
I didn't know
Bob
much about
Dylan.
him, but like I knew Johnny Cash was.
So did I. I watched that movie about him that one time.
That one time. Well, I loved the song Hurt, and I liked the version by... I liked the version by 9 Inch Nails. Most people like the version by Johnny Cash, turns out. Most people do.
I don't know if I
And
know that. I just must do.
one of the people is my dad. And
Really?
I said, don't get me wrong, it's a good version. It's just not for me. It's not as much my type of music as Nine Inch Nails is. I already like Nine Inch Nails. So, and I was reading about the song, and it said that he played it not very long before he died, and and Reese Witherspoon was there too, and it said online that he died of a heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, and he said he like laughed and was like, "No."
That was the film that I watched.
He laughed and said, "No, he's an asshole," and he was right about that. So he made a good point. So yeah, but still, I thought that they would paint him in a good light in the film because Bob Dylan likes the film. I think he said, and also like Timothy Chalamet loves Bob Dylan. That's why he did the movie. Yeah. So you'd think that
it's interesting. I wonder
they paint him in a good light.
I wonder if Timothy Chalamet learnt some things about his idol
and was like, well, I would not want to play any of my idols in a biopic because they always show something
they've got to
that you don't want to know. Even if it's painting them in a good light, there's things about their lives, and that's fine. Like, obviously there's things, but you don't want to be acting that and being like, oh, my character's acting like a dick. That means that my idol's a dick. Like, that is rough. Yeah, I wonder if he did, or he was just like, I don't know, I guess if he likes Bob Dylan's music and has met Bob Dylan now, because, again, we don't know what Bob Dylan's like now, he might be really different. It might have been that he just did stupid shit in his 20s, which is fair. And that was in the 60s. Yeah. And you can have acted like a dick in the 60s and be a nice person now.
That's true.
So, I don't know, I wonder if like, Timothy Chalamet's met Bob Dylan now, likes his music, and is like, you know what, yeah, okay, he's a dick in the movie, but that doesn't mean the guy's evil.
Yeah.
But they don't paint him in the good light. And they don't try to either. No. Because the characters that he wrongs, they definitely paint in a good light.
That's true. They're nice.
They're both sweet
they
and
give
nice to him.
Chances for some reason.
No, oh my god, I was like, Sylvie, get on that boat. Get on that damn boat. Please, just don't even look at him. He's making a fool of himself.
Literally.
Just don't even turn around, girl.
It's not worth it.
He's showed up on his fucking motorbike and goes, come with me to Newport, and you go, yes? You're in the middle of a painting. Get your priorities straight.
Literally.
Oh. And then she's like, oh, I want to see the show. You don't want to see the show,
No,
girl.
you don't want to see the show, because last time you saw the show, you cried, and I assume that's when
this is something that bothers me. Can that huge festival not afford 2 damn microphones? There's 2 people on the stage.
I was thinking that.
Get them 2 microphones.
I was like,
there's no need for this sexual tension. There's no need for them to sing with their mouths so close that they could.
I also thought
Lady and the Tramp. Okay, get them 2 microphones.
Why is the ball of the microphone so big?
I don't know, but I fuck with that. Who? I don't know his name. Arthur.
Who's?
I don't think it's Arthur. Timmy Tay's. No, sorry, Bob Dylan's. Agent or manager.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I don't know. I think it might be Arthur.
I don't know. I like that Bob Dylan makes fun of him the whole time.
It's kind of funny.
And like, it's mean to him. And
I like that he has one of those cigarette stick things that you put the cigarette on, so you're not
it's
touching them. Yeah.
I love those.
I love how it's like, you know, when he's in the hotel room and Pete's trying to convince Timmy Bob Dylan to perform how he wants him to perform.
Yeah, perform some.
And he's just, the guy's just sat in the bed in the back just like this, like legs out, everything, just like this. Like, it's just out of his mouth, but he's not holding it or anything, he's just.
I really like his character because he's so funny. Because he's like a joke. And Timothy thinks Bob Dylan.
He's the butt of the joke.
Bob thinks he's the joke. Everyone thinks he's the joke. And yet he's probably doing all the work.
Yeah.
Poor guy's probably doing all the work.
Probably.
But also,
do you know what I love?
You know what I don't understand about the sticks? Quickly.
Yeah.
You're smoking a cigarette, right?
Yeah.
You're fine with your lungs being fucked by the cigarette, but God forbid you get yellow fingers. God forbid.
I mean, on another note, I love how every time Bob Dylan meets a new person who is potentially, like, is like on his side and potentially helps him, they just become his new best friend.
I know. He just makes such good friends with everyone.
So
everyone's
funny.
like a life partner to this.
It's actually so funny. Like, he literally goes to hospital to meet his idol, who is
lifelong friend to him. Then after that,
and then it just suddenly, because he was gonna. It's like, whoa.
Also, considering how much Woody's supposed to be dying, he lived in that long damn time.
He did.
Impressive.
He seemed to be doing the same amount of wellness the entire time.
Yeah. And it was a really long time that he was like actually dying for. And also, we haven't spoken about Woody yet. Woody, he's in the hospital. He's his like idol, his icon, his king. Imagine you go and see like your idol, and then you just end up being friends with them forever.
Yeah, right. That'd be crazy. Like, you get to go play songs for them.
Also, imagine just being able to walk into the hospital room of a famous person.
I know.
And that not being an issue at all.
Shocking.
Because at that point, Pete was really famous, and Woody's obviously really famous, because it was in the news that he was in the hospital. And he just walks into his room.
It's crazy.
No one takes issue. That's insane.
He's just got 2 lifelong friends from that one experience, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then he meets the guy... There's someone in between, I think, but I can't think of who it is. He meets the guy who was, like, a small musician that was also called
I love that guy.
Bobby.
I love that guy.
I know, it's so funny. And then they just become, like, best friends again as well.
And they show up everywhere together.
I know. It's
with
like,
matching
whoa.
sunglasses. And they look like two little mice with sunglasses on.
They do.
I had something else to say about Woody. Oh, I wrote in my book that you and Woody are just alike. Because you made the same coughing noise during the movie. No, my book.
You said that in such a sweet tone, and
Yeah,
it just
I love
fell
you.
through.
No, I'm saying.
But I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should have
started
lined up my
coughing.
coughing. No, actually, what I thought was, oh, it's okay. People won't mind me coughing
Because he's
coughing. It's okay. It's us in the film.
That's interesting logic you had there. Lines?
Yeah,
I don't have much in lines. I didn't put it into sections this time because I was worried it would be too dark in the cinema, and then the cinema was actually.
It was
light.
very dark. It was also wasn't very loud. Did you think that?
It was a good temperature. Sometimes it's too loud. Temperature. You know what's so funny? Complete accident. Also, some initial things I wrote down was that they make really good outfits for Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were so good. They were perfect. They were on point. I loved it. The hair was perfect for Bob Dylan. It was so good for Bob Dylan.
That actually, let's take a moment for his singing.
Oh,
and his voice.
Yeah, okay, yeah. This made me realise I like Bob Dylan songs. I just forgot.
He's good at it.
Because he was so good. He really, he was bang on.
I didn't know what Bob Dylan sounded like, really, before.
I did.
Before
but
we
I don't
watched
know
it.
that many songs by him.
But we listened to some recordings, some videos of him singing after, and he genuinely nailed it.
He nailed it.
think so.
It was so good. And the fact he played all the instruments.
Yeah.
And I know my dad pointed out that maybe Bob Dylan wasn't the most incredible skilled guitarist ever, but
he still
nailed it. The harmonica.
I
can play the harmonica.
Instruments as a character.
Yeah.
Because that banjo. I love the banjo.
I loved the harmonica. Literally, one of my first notes was the bit where Joan's playing.
Yeah.
And Joan being Joan Baez, by the way. That's an important thing to say. She's playing House of the Rising Sun. And she's singing her damn heart out incredibly. She holds the microphone away from her so she can sing it with more intense emotion.
Yeah.
And then it pans to Timothée Chalamet with a harmonica over his mouth. And he looks so funny.
He's Kubrick staring.
He's Kubrick staring, and he looks like he's really scared.
Yeah,
this is something, right? Timothée Chalamet, he's nearly 30 damn years old.
Is he actually?
He might be 30. And he plays a very good teenager in the beginning. He looks scared and embarrassed.
That's true.
And teenagery. Also, one thing about Timothée Chalamet, he looks so much better with short hair.
He's 29.
29, exactly, that's almost 30. And I guess this started 5 years ago. He did the accent really well, but one thing I'll say is when he sings it, it doesn't seem unnatural at all.
No.
For him to be singing it. But when he
true.
talks, it seems unnatural. It's why is Timothée Chalamet doing that accent?
That's true.
Whereas when he's singing, it's Bob Dylan. Woo, Bob Dylan. But I guess I just haven't seen much of Bob Dylan talking, otherwise I'd probably feel the same.
Well, that's what made me realise it, is because that video that we watched,
where he's talking and
he's
it's
talking
bang
and
on,
singing,
it's
and
bang
it's
on.
literally bang on, and cough. Sorry.
I think an important thing to note is that neither of us knew anything about, I knew Bob Dylan's songs, but neither of us knew anything about Bob Dylan's life.
I know I know nothing.
Still, if you have other information about Bob Dylan, some things we say might seem uneducated, and I'm sorry, but...
I don't think there's point in apologising because everything we say ever is uneducated.
And I wanted to go off our initial opinions on the film, so...
Yeah.
So are we going to do lines? I don't have many lines.
I think I have 2.
As lines. I have a lot of just random notes because I'm bad at writing notes, but I have some.
I have 2.
My first one was
I have one kind of near the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, you go first.
Okay, I like when he's playing on stage for the first time after Joan did, and then he starts talking about her, and he's like, she's pretty, she sings pretty, maybe a bit too pretty, and it's
almost that's just an embarrassing thing to say on stage. I wrote down why
into a microphone in front of everyone
on the stage on a microphone. If you want to call her pretty to her face. Why are you saying that?
That's so embarrassing. If I was her, I'd leave.
I know, and she comes back because he plays good. This is what I mean. He doesn't have any, like, it's only his playing, I feel like, that gets him, and obviously his looks, but, like, until later on when he gets more confident, like, at the beginning, he's not good at, like, the talk, you know? She's pretty.
She's pretty.
Okay. Like, for context, in case I didn't pick up, Kai just went, he went, I can't even do it now because I'm laughing. He went, which doesn't sound funny, but it was. Okay, my quote was, he says, a really good song doesn't need frills and drums. And I'm like, dude.
When did he say that?
Pete says it.
When did Pete say that?
Pete's driving, it's actually before your bit, but it's fine. Pete's driving Timothy to his... Stop. What? I keep saying Timothy. But in the movie, he was Bob Dylan to me. For some reason now, he's just Timothy to me.
Yeah, of course.
Which is weird. No, because Pete's Pete to me, not Graham. I would never call Graham Norton Graham.
He's not called Graham Norton, that's why, Edward.
Yeah, I just realised. I've been calling him Graham all evening.
Have you actually?
Yes.
No way.
Why?
I don't know. They're different people. Very different people.
Is Graham Norton a real person?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Graham Norton's a TV show presenter guy.
What does he do?
Presents TV shows.
Yeah, which
Not TV
ones?
shows. Like a talk show.
That is so funny because I didn't know Graham Norton was a person, and I also have been calling Edward Norton Graham the whole time. I would never call Edward Norton Edward or
So
Graham.
Funny. That's really embarrassing.
I'm a movie watcher. I like movies. I've watched ones, and they had Edward Norton in.
He was in this one where he plays a Nazi.
Which one?
I can't remember what it's called. Something X.
Project X.
Was he a Nazi in that film that we watched and reviewed?
I don't remember any Nazis, but there could be. You never know, they're hiding these days. Sorry.
American History X.
I don't know what that is. That's a wordy name.
He looks really bad at it because he's bold and a Nazi.
Oh my god, no, I've seen him. Yeah. He's giving Tyler Durden, actually. Anyway.
I just watched that movie.
Well, anyway, I was talking about how he said, oh, a really good song doesn't need all the thrills and the
Sorry,
drums.
yeah.
And I think that's a really weird thing to say because, you know, a really good song, okay, yeah, there could be a really good song that's played just on guitar, if that's what suits that song. But some songs couldn't be just guitar, you know? Imagine if Trademark USA by Baby Keem was just him and a guitar, no bass, no drums,
That's rough.
no beat. It's just Baby Keem and a guitar and a harmonica. Do you think it'd be a good song?
I wonder if someone's done a version of that.
Trademark on that pussy. Trademark got my brand new bitch. Yeah. What are you doing? She's trying to get the guitar. You can't play it. Oh, I kind of see it.
Okay, so sing.
I can't sing most of the words in that song.
Just sing what you just said.
Trademark on that pussy. Trademark got my brand new bitch.
That was actually bass, but you know.
Imagine if Goosebumps by Travis Scott. Sorry. Anyway. Oh! He has a good point, guys. He has a good point. Tell me.
What the song's called?
Which song?
1, 2, and 3 of by that guy, and he's like fucking himself. Slap me out.
Smell like pussy.
No,
I'm not singing anymore. Annalie, you drive me crazy. I love that that's my Bob Dylan impression. Anyway, I just think it's a weird point to make because there's good music that has drums in it. I like when he says, okay.
Oh my god, I wrote that down.
That was so forced. Because he says it like a lot in a certain way throughout the film. And
he does.
It's fun. I like the way he
says
says
it. Just agreeable.
Okay.
I drew a little smiley face to indicate tone next to his okay.
Oh, and I put something that was interesting. I put because now, towards the end of the movie, Woody does start looking really, really old. But the first time we saw Woody, I don't think he looks that old. He looked like 30.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
And he says oh, we're putting a younger face on folk. And it's like, well, Woody's famous. He doesn't look that old.
Yeah, no, but in music, 30 years old.
At that time. Not now.
Yeah,
That's
at that time.
changed. Tizo touchdown.
Yeah,
He's
at that
32.
time.
Yeah, that's true.
30 years old.
But isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
How much younger music...
I say that. I'm no music.
I think music's
knowledge.
gotten a lot younger. In the time you get famous.
Now that Twitter is called X,
Yeah.
what are tweets called? Take the
No, I don't like that. I don't, it's just a tweet. I like when the guy says, you wrote these songs, and he says the best of them. No, it's Elle Fanning, I think. Yeah, Elle Fanning goes like, oh, you wrote those songs, and he goes, I wrote the best of them. And I think that's like a funny thing to say, because it's like, what if she thinks the ones that you didn't write are the best of them? But he just knows.
Only ones you think are good.
Yeah, he just knows. And I like when he says, want a peanut, and then hands her a bag of peanuts.
Right. It's like, wow.
Because I think if someone did that to me, I'd be like, yeah. This is one thing I need to like. I judge Elle Fanning's. I don't judge Elle Fanning's character. I feel bad for Elle Fanning's character, Sylvie. But on the other hand, if Timothée Chalamet, if Bob Dylan, if I was Sylvie and Bob Dylan was a hot woman, I would be going I would be going to Newport on the back of that motorbike.
I mean, yeah.
Would you be if it was a hot guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't judge. In the exact same situation she's been in this whole time.
Actually,
you probably wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
You're not as stupid as me.
I don't think you would either.
You don't.
The girls in this film,
yeah,
both two of them.
Yeah, two of them. I like that.
All their decisions were made with all the knowledge they had of him.
Yeah, which wasn't a lot.
Wasn't a lot, but it was enough to go, this is a bad situation, he's a horrible man.
That's true.
Horrible
man's a stretch.
Okay, he's a mean arsehole.
Yes, he's a very self-centered person.
Who I shouldn't get involved with, because it will only hurt me in the long run.
I put... Oh my god. Okay, so they go to the cinema and he goes, have you got $1?
Yeah.
Imagine if the cinema was £1. Yeah, if the cinema was only £1, we would see every single new film.
I'd be going there every day.
I would be. I would see every single new film multiple times with everyone I know. I wish it was that much money. They should make it that much money. I reckon they'd get more business. They'd be broke though. But, you know.
They would make more business.
No, because if you think about it, right, it's £7.
Yeah.
So, I reckon if it was £1, I reckon they'd get 6 new people.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon they'd make it up in numbers. I reckon they could.
I think so.
Eventually.
They just have to do more screenings.
They'd have to really advertise it, and do more screenings.
Because you can still only fit a certain amount of people in.
Yeah.
So a room wouldn't get as much money.
But flip them out.
Yeah.
We should run a cinema.
Imagine. There's just us.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
No, I'm not kidding that much. I would quite like that. But... Anyway, I like the bit where Timothy's playing in the hospital and the guard comes in and he's like, oh, you need to cut that out. He's sharing a room with a guest. And he goes, a guest in a coma? Yeah. Because he kind of makes a good point.
I mean, yeah.
The guest doesn't care.
The guest doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
The guest was gone by the end.
And Woody does know, and he wants to hear it.
Who knows that?
No.
The guest was gone at the end. The last time when he drove off.
Maybe he just woke up.
Maybe.
We can choose to believe that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, he just woke up. Anyway, sorry, no, it was a good point.
Didn't mean to make it
no, I'm sorry, that was
good.
Sad. That was a good point. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that. Oh my god, I just noticed what I put just below that, and it's not a line.
But go ahead, I'm gonna know now.
He's picking his toes while having a conversation with Sylvie, and it's so gross. He's like flexing them and picking them, and I'm just like, stop! You're filthy. You're disgusting.
I'm glad. I was just like, this seems. Anytime there's feet in a film, it seems so unnecessary. Just put some fucking socks on them.
And I know
it can't be that much of a character. Like,
maybe we're just stupid for caring so much. Like, a lot of people don't wear socks.
No, everyone wears fucking socks.
No.
Yes, they do.
We both wear socks.
I wear socks every second.
I thought you didn't wear socks in bed.
I always.
Yeah, I do too. But people call me weird for it.
No, I always wear socks in bed. I don't care if it's weird. I don't care if it's unhygienic. I'm not putting my fucking feet out.
If like someone I know, I'm not grossed out that they have their feet out.
Oh yeah, no.
But I think it's just that since it's become a thing.
Yeah, I guess.
About feet. Now, whenever feet are in a film, I'm like, oh, they have feet in this film.
Why would they choose to do that?
Yeah, why would they choose to do that when they know people are weird about that now?
Especially in a recent film.
But then I'm also like, maybe that's just me being stupid. I thought it was good because he was picking them. If it was just his feet, that's fine. But he was picking them.
I didn't even see him picking them. I was just like,
he was putting his fingers in between his toes and picking at them. And that's gross. But yeah, no, I think honestly, that's the thing, right? Like, I'm sure in the early 2000s, that scene in Kill Bill when she's got her trying to wiggle her toes didn't seem that weird. But in a modern context,
it's
so strange. And I don't know if it's because people in our generation talk about how like he's creepy because of that scene. And it's like, is he? Or is that an assumption we make because to us it's weird? Because older generations don't have that.
No, but he uses feet in a lot of his films.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But I mean, you know what I mean? But in that context, was it actually...
It probably wasn't as gross and didn't like stand out as much as...
No, it's weird that so many things have like this completely different spin on them because of...
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. I love when things do that.
Oh, he's like, maybe just don't come back at all to Sylvie. Rude. And then he acts like he was joking and he's like, doesn't get why she's mad. And I'm like, you were rude.
I actually talked about that, but only because I thought it was her place. And they were at her place. And I got confused. I was like, why is she...
She moves in with him. She moves in with him very fast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it does time cuts.
Although I thought it was the other way around.
The time cuts are in a confusing way.
At the beginning, yeah. Because he introduces him on the stage. Pete introduces Bob Dylan on stage for the first time.
It looked like it was immediately after.
A month.
Yeah.
And it's been a month. Yeah, it looked like it was immediately after. It'd been a month. And I was like...
And I just like, after a while, I just started being like, okay, well, I'll just see how long it's been. Based on the context. And that's fine. It wasn't like a negative thing about the movie. It's just the first couple I was like, whoa. But maybe it was deliberate. Where like, when he says that she's like an oil painting her songs are like an oil painting at the dentist office.
Real.
That is an incredible
I want to see
comparison.
that.
I can picture it.
I can picture it.
Although, except my dentist always had drawings done by kids.
Mine just had boards.
I picture the giant painting mural in the doctor's office. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what I picture.
That's real.
And it's ugly.
I picture the layout of just an exhibition, but the walls are kind of blue.
Okay. That doesn't sound anything like what you described. Oh, okay, I see. Well, I know exactly what he means, though. It's like art that's been made to be, like, nice. But it has no, because it's just trying to decorate. Yeah. But no, it's not being decorated by anyone. It's not being decorated for, like, a home. Like, in a home, the art that's in a home is, like, art they picked.
Yeah.
Whereas art in a dentist office is like, oh, let's pick something that everyone's not going to have a problem with. Something nice.
Yeah,
true. And that's like what he's saying her songs are like, and I think that's really good in comparison to make.
I actually didn't think that deeply about it. I just thought it was funny, but that's actually very smart.
I know, that's just what I think about it.
No, I think that's smart. I think that's good and smart.
I like when Elle Fanning comes back from being away, and she really excitedly goes, "Did you teach yourself to make coffee?"
I know.
I'm like, that is the easiest fucking thing. She has such bare minimum expectations.
I actually didn't think about it that way. I was
what did you think?
The fact that I was just like felt really bad for her that she thought that he learned how to make coffee,
and he hadn't,
and he found out from someone who's cheating on her. But...
Yeah, that is really sad. That's true. But my thought was
also
that she had such low expectations of him that she was really impressed that he learned to make coffee.
I actually don't know how to make coffee.
Really?
But no one in our house drinks coffee.
Do you know how to make tea?
I mean, we don't drink tea either.
Yeah, but do you know how to make it?
You put a tea bag in.
Yeah, and with coffee you put some coffee in.
I suppose I know how to make coffee.
It's not.
Oh my god, guys! I learned something today. I like how when Johnny Cash he's talking to Bob Dylan at the kind of near the end before the big final performance and stuff, and they're talking and he's talking about like the type of music he wants to play and stuff, and he goes, "Make some noise, BD."
Yeah, BD. I like BD.
BD is incredible, and he walks off. I'm like,
this is the thing. They painted Johnny Cash out to be such a nice person in this.
I know he said BD, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're amazing." No.
Newport, right?
Yes.
And everyone's very upset because he's gonna play music with instruments, and they're scared, right? And all I could think was like, oh, if they played like modern music now to him, And I was just thinking like, imagine if they played this guy Blade. He would shit himself if he had Blade.
Who are we talking about?
The guy.
The guy that doesn't want...
The guy who runs the festival.
Yeah.
Who's like, oh my god, no, you can't play instruments.
And he tries to turn it off.
And like, imagine Blade at the Newport Folk Festival.
That would be rough.
Playing Western Union. He would shit all over the shop.
Yeah. He probably put up more of a fight to turn it off. What were we talking about on the way back? And they were like, it's really interesting how music, like, compared to music now and stuff.
I think just that they were so against instruments.
Oh yeah, probably was.
Because, like, now, hip-hop is all made on a computer. It's not even any instruments. Computer.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, can you imagine? Do you imagine how they'd feel about playing a backing track? Like,
would not
that's
be happy.
insane. I just think it's really interesting.
Yeah, true.
They're just very, like, sheltered.
Especially at this folk music concert.
Oh, shark, click, click, click.
Why do you do that, like, voice every time? It's so
because
funny.
You know what I think of when I think, oh, I've got to sing like Bob Dylan? How does it feel? Like the one bit from, like, a Rolling Stone that he plays in the studio. That's all I hear in my mind. No, I know you can't remember any of the songs. It was a key part of the movie.
I'm sorry, all the songs sounded the same. Okay, they didn't.
What about working on Grandma's farm? Or someone's farm? That sounds completely different.
Yeah, it wasn't Grandma, it was Maggie's.
Sorry, Maggie's.
I think it's Maggie.
Oh, my line.
Oh, yeah.
He says, the festival man says, like, be honest with me, are you going to play shit like this? And then Bob Dylan goes, this is the Kinks. Like, good point. Why is he asking that? It's not his music.
Him. Someone else said that.
No, it was Bob Dylan.
Was it?
Yeah.
There was a guy in the back.
No. Because he's like... Because, yeah. Like, he means music with instruments. He means music with instruments. Like, that's not Bob Dylan's music, so why would he be playing music like that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Also, just after that,
yeah,
when he's walking away,
yeah,
and he... Oh, fuck, this is going to be difficult because I didn't write it down.
Oh, God.
He says something.
Yeah.
And then the guy says something.
Yeah.
And he says... Oh, he was like... Oh, fuck! Do you know what I'm at?
No, I wouldn't know.
He said something about folk music, and he's like, oh, what's that? Or something, as he's walking away.
Oh!
And then he says something else, and he goes, are you gonna, like, why don't you play? Or something like that.
Yeah. The guy says, like, he's walking past someone, and they're like, oh.
He's leaving. Bob Dylan's leaving.
Yeah.
And the guys are trying to call after him, because they're like, you need to not play.
They say something about, like,
your new album.
Oh, you don't play that old album, are you gonna play some folk music? And he goes, oh, I never heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, says something else, and he's like, are you gonna play some? Or something.
I like when he says, to the people, they're saying, like...
It would have been funny if I remembered that.
They're saying, like, oh, like, are you gonna play tonight? And he was like, oh, yeah, you should come listen. And they're like, oh, we're not gonna hear, because it's closed. And he was like, I'll sing louder.
I know.
Like, some things he says,
Rolls
and
up
it's
the
like,
window.
oh, you like him in that situation. Like, this thing is, they paint, I said this, and I think it's really true, they paint out Robert Zimmerman, the person he is.
Yeah.
The person he is behind
The music.
And the celebrity is an asshole.
Yeah.
But they paint out Bob Dylan as a musician to be good.
True, because
funny,
the final
interesting,
concert,
nice
I'm on
to
his
people.
side. If I'm being honest, I'm like, they shouldn't stop him from playing what he wants. I mean,
I'm on and off about it.
I mean, yeah, that's what
You know
I'd say.
I'm on and off about it.
Well, yeah, I was when we talked about it, so I don't know why I said that I was.
Musically speaking, I'm on his side.
But then again, he was at a folk festival.
But yeah, that's what I mean. So on his musically, like in his music journey, I'm on his side. Yeah. I think if he likes to play that music now, he's play that music now. But don't play at the folk festival if you are gonna be upset if you have to play your folk song at the end of the day. And this is what we said about Pete, was like, on the hand, some of the ways Pete acts, I don't like. He was gonna unplug it, and I think that was silly. He should have just talked to him, pulled him off stage or something. Like, I don't think unplugging him was the right answer. And he acts upon, like, instinct. But on the other hand, Pete isn't, like, okay, it made me sad that Pete didn't listen to his album, and that kind of made me realise, because I was all like, oh, Bob's being really horrible to Pete. Pete's like his lifelong friend, and he's like being horrible to him. And then when he pointed out that he hadn't listened to his album, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. But on the other hand, Pete said, like, I see where your journey's going. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take that direction. I'm just saying this is the folk festival and you're upsetting people at the folk festival.
I'm controversial opinion perhaps, but I think that him unplugging it wasn't necessarily the worst decision.
No,
because it was kind of causing, like, not riots, but people were throwing things on stage and people were like getting out of their chairs and stuff and things. So
and I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad
it probably would have caused more issues, to be fair. But
I'm glad it happened. It's like a generational moment. It's, like, it's what kind of changed him as a musician, because he broke free from, like, feeling like he had to do all that after that. But, like, I think he misunderstands Pete not listening to mean Pete doesn't think he should do it and thinks it's bad.
Yeah.
Whereas Pete's saying, like, it's just not for me, but I see the direction for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, all he was asking for was that one night. It was their last night doing the festival.
And I don't think he should have had to do that.
No.
But they said to him,
he could have said no.
They said to him, don't play if you're going to play like that. So it's just, like, on and off, really. Like, I see both sides completely.
He was big.
Yeah.
He could have got places elsewhere.
Yeah.
He didn't have to play,
but, like,
here. That was his only way to promote his new album.
When he said to Pete, have you even heard the songs you're telling me not to play? Like, that's a good point.
Yeah. Because
it's like, Pete's just saying, oh, they're not going to like it, they're not going to like it, they're not going to like it.
It could have been really similar.
Do you even know what it is? You know? Which is another point about the music, is that I understand with the Maggie's Farm, that was quite different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just, again, from a modern look where, like, we don't understand that kind of stuff. Like a Rolling Stone was really similar to his guitar stuff. It just had instruments in it. Like, vocally speaking and guitar speaking, it sounded so much like all his folk music. It sounded the same.
I was really... Because, he went on twice to do folk music, right?
Yeah.
He did one, went off, and then came back and did, like, a proper one where he was with his acoustic. Because his one before that... No. It felt I was really struggling.
He did Maggie's Farm.
Yeah.
But you know what my problem is with this idea that it's awful that he has a band? Johnny Cash has a band at the folk festival the year before. The music sounds really similar to the shit. And no one had a problem with it. They were all excited to hear Johnny. But when Bob Dylan makes the same fucking kind of music with the same band, it's an issue. It doesn't make any sense. Right?
Yeah.
Because Do you remember, like, the year before they have, like, oh, maybe not the year before, but before, they have Johnny playing with his band.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
And it's the same! It's the same stuff. And everyone's like, yeah,
it's because everyone's like, oh, they know Bob Dylan for something specific.
Yeah.
And,
And, I don't know.
I knew it! Okay. What? Maggie's Farm.
Yeah.
I was like, because I thought I knew it as a cover.
Yeah. He was
by Rage Against the Machine.
Oh!
I knew.
Surely it doesn't sound very similar.
I don't know.
Covered by Rage Against the
Machine. But I think I just knew the name.
Oh, okay.
I was like, Maggie's Farm.
We should listen to that after this. I was really sad that when he went to Bobby's performance, he got discovered. I knew it was... The thing is, on the one hand, I was like, oh, I really hope he goes to that guy's performance because it'd be a really nice thing to do. And then in my mind, I was like, no, because it'll ruin it.
I didn't even think about that before. I just was like, oh, he's gone to the thing. I was like, oh, it's really nice that he's sat and like listened to it. Because again, I was like, this character, I feel like he's going to be kind of a dick and be like, oh, he's taking my thing.
Bobby smiled at him from the stage and I was like, oh, that's sweet, but I feel like someone's going to ask Bob to play instead.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was going to happen.
When they discovered him, I thought that's what they were going to say.
I was like, oh, they're going to be like Bob play and then this is going to ruin it for this band. And then the woman was just like actually low-key evil.
Well, she took his glasses.
Grabbing at him and taking his glasses.
He grabbed them, from what I could tell, he grabbed only the glasses back.
And then got punched.
Got punched by the guy.
Yeah, it was messed up, honestly. I also love when they're on the radio show, or TV show, with Jessie. And I was really worried because Bob Dylan and Bobby rock up in their matching glasses and they seem like they're going to start acting like twats and be like, I thought I was supposed to be on, because they're like late as hell.
Yeah.
And then he just like plays a song with them and it's actually really sweet in the end.
It was
but
really
when they pull up and they're like stood there with their glasses and everyone's like, I was like, oh no.
They're going to cause shit.
They're going to be mean and rude and ruin poor PT's show.
Yeah.
I have something. I want to know...
Is it a sexually transmitted infection?
That's messed up that you say that to me.
You said you had something. For all I know, it could be an STI.
It could have been a present for you.
Ooh.
But if it was, I wasn't going to give it to you now, and it also wasn't. I was just going to say, I want to know the age gap between Pete and his wife. That's all. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's just better looking than him.
That's what I thought.
That's a good point. Oh, she looks older than him.
Together.
She looks way older than him.
Let me do this.
Just look up his age and then her age.
Yes, I'm doing.
Yeah.
Age when?
Oh, did they both die?
Well, he did.
He dead. Were you saying did or dead?
Did. I dead, and I feel really bad.
Yeah, you should. He's a national treasure. He played the banjo really well. That's not a really nice thing to say.
Fuck off. How old was Pete when
he died?
He got married.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
24.
Oh, they've been together so long.
Jeez.
They're so cute, actually, that they like lived.
Born. Oh my god.
Well, to be fair, you're looking up the most dumb things trying to find the answer. I don't know why you would have looked up the way you did. No. I'm sorry, that's mean. That's mean.
Right, she was born in 1922.
Yeah, such a long time ago, that's crazy.
He was born in 1999. 3 years.
He was born in 1999.
1919.
He's not very old, huh?
1919.
1919. Yeah. That's not that bad. 3 years?
3 years.
That's like nothing. How old's Edward... I almost said Graham again. Edward Norton and whoever plays Toshi. See, that's a perfectly normal age gap. That's a healthy age gap. And they were together their whole life.
55.
Yeah.
I need to go on to... Where's she? Hello?
Toshi.
I know. 42.
She looks really good for 42. He looks 50. But she does... In the movie, I think she looked really good for 42. And he looked 55. Anyway, I like when he's talking about, Pete is trying to tell his story about the weighing and the sieves and the... No, not sieves. And the spoons. The spoons and the shovels. And he's saying, like, you came and you bought a shovel while everyone else is bringing spoons. But, you have to bring the shovel in the right way. And and he goes, and his name was Albert, not Arthur.
Well, at least we know now.
He goes, okay, he's like, oh yeah, we get the story, Pete, we get the story. And he goes, I don't think you do, Albert. And then keeps talking about something different. Yeah. Like he's not talking about that, but it's just the way he says it. It made me happy.
Literally. Sorry, I put on lip balm on because my lips are dry.
Oh my god, why?
Because if you couldn't tell, I'm ill.
I like when Johnny's like, you blew my mind. And I like when he says that they're pen pals, because I wrote about them being pen pals, and then he says it, and I was like, oh, they're cute. Pen pals. Yeah.
It's so weird.
The way they portray Johnny, I guess it's because it's from seemingly Bob Dylan's point of view, although it doesn't seem to be. It seems like it's from an outlooker's point of view. Yeah. But I'm guessing they got all the information from Bob Dylan. I don't know. But if they did, I guess he would think Johnny Cash is nice. A lot of my notes are me making false assumptions.
That's nice.
So, like, I wrote, oh no, he's gonna beef with Johnny.
Because he didn't beef with Johnny.
He was Kubrick staring him while he was on the stage. And I was like, but it
just
turns out he just
Kubrick
does that.
stares.
He just does that. So never mind. He wasn't going to beef with Johnny. And I also put, oh no, he's going to beef with Pete. And he kind of did, but I put it really early. I just wrote, nah, put the glasses back on.
I need to pee. I'm really sorry.
Oh, you can leave me all on my own, I see.
You can do some singing, or you can just put the music in.
I'm not going to speak this whole time. I don't have anything interesting.
There's a huge...
Hmm?
There's a huge ass hole in my crotch. Of my jeans. Something I want to talk about is he works at a carnival.
Oh my god, it comes up so often.
Why?
It comes up so often.
At
Is
least
it really
2
like
times.
that relevant? Way more than 2 times.
I know of 2
4
times.
or 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. What
And
relevance does that have?
I guess it's interesting, but like he doesn't talk about anything from his past, but he talks about the carnival all the time, and he goes, carnival. The carnival. You know what I mean? That's how he says it, and I like that. Carnival. And I'm like,
ooh,
yeah, we're both
cold.
really cold all of a sudden. I like how, okay, this is actually like a serious note, kind of. I like how it shows Pete's show, and he's like playing the banjo, and everyone's singing the different parts of the music, and then it swaps to Joni's, and it's like, really, everyone's in complete silence while she sings, and it's complete different energy, and I think it's kind of like, they're both supposed to be in like a really similar field.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting.
It's really, I do like, I feel like there wasn't a lot of light shed on the other characters.
Yeah.
And them as characters and people.
Well,
obviously that makes sense.
We only
'cause
heard
it's like,
Jones' music that was his music.
Yeah.
And we only heard, like... Well, the thing is, any of the characters who were musicians, we didn't really hear them play. Like, we heard Pete play a lot with him, and we heard him probably play 1 or 2 songs of his own. And then we heard Johnny start playing a song, but that's it. So we didn't really hear any of the other characters' music, because I guess it wasn't important, to be fair.
No, and that makes sense. It's a film about Bob Dylan. They're not going, and they don't have time to go into the characters of everyone else. But I do think it is interesting when we got to see some snippets of like what their music's like, what their lifestyle's like.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff like that, you know.
But
I think they do that through set quite well. Because we see Pete's house, and we see her, like, hotel room. Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Hotel room, and we see, like, what's her name? The girlfriend, not girlfriend.
Sylvie's
house, or apartment, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we kind of get, like, a intro
into
them that way.
Like, oh, stop. I can't remember now. Oh, every girl he's with initially treats him like a small child. If that makes sense. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, only for like a bit, and then he obviously takes over and ruins their lives, as he does.
Yeah.
But the first time he hangs out with either of the girls, they treat him like a small child, for some reason.
I would too.
And he equally acts like clueless, but...
I don't know about Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But Timmy.
Timmy's character. Well, it's just like, the first time he hangs out with Sylvie, and he's like, do you have $1? I don't have $1. Cheese. And then he's like, and then they're at the thing, and she's like telling him about what he's doing wrong and all this stuff, and she's like, I told you my schedule, you know.
Plus, even when they met, and he like sits behind her and he leans on the fucking the back of the thing.
And she's like, yeah, you were good, I guess. Like, and she's like telling him about stuff. That's what I mean. Like, everyone kind of treats him like he's complete clueless. Like, she always talks down on him when they first meet, and that's why it's so crazy that so soon her life just became his life, and she becomes so not her own person. Like, you really see that happen, and she's
taking control of her life as well.
Yeah, and like she has a boyfriend later on, and she still lets him in the house.
Literally.
You know, because you hear the guy say, like, where are you, Sylvie? And it's like, you let him in the house knowing that you had a boyfriend.
Go away. Tell him to go away.
And like, I literally wrote, when he goes to her house the second time, I literally wrote, leave Sylvie alone, you freakazoid. Because why are you showing up again? Just because Joan didn't want you? This is what I mean. He doesn't want Sylvie. Like, it's not that he wants Sylvie when he has Joan and wants Joan when he has Sylvie. It's that he only wants Sylvie because she's there and he wants Joan.
Yeah. But Joan knows he's a dick more than Sylvie does.
Sylvie doesn't know he's a dick ever. I feel like she thinks that she's the one who's too emotional for him. Yeah. You know, that's what is also sad. It's like, it seems like she genuinely thinks that she's just like too emotional to be in a relationship with him. And it's like, no, girl, he's an asshole and he's fucking you over.
Literally.
Oh, something I wrote that I think is interesting is that Bob Dylan is like the only person who can pull off being called Bob to me. Yeah. Without it seeming like Bob. But
Bob Marley.
That's true. But with both the people, right? They call him Bobby, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And they do in the movie, but in my mind, I'm like, Bob Dylan is fine. Bobby is fine. Bob, still silly. You know what I mean?
Just Bob.
Like, Bob Dylan, Bob Marley, fine. But Bob Marley does not suit the name Bob. He suits the name Bob Marley.
Yeah.
He doesn't suit the name Bob.
True, I couldn't imagine people calling him just Bob.
You want to listen to some Bob? I picture someone going, you know,
bobbing.
No, like with a bob. Like Joan is like, oh, where'd you learn guitar and stuff? And she does the same thing. She talks down to him in the same way.
True.
Like the way she's like, you're kind of an asshole, Bob. She says it like she's telling like a child that he's being mean. You know what I mean? Like she really does talk crap. And the thing is, he goes along with it.
He deserves it.
He goes along with it, but then I feel like he knows better because later he ends up being like, oh, get in the car so we get in the, you know, get on the bike so we get on the bike. Yeah. It's like he doesn't have to act like that. He acts like that on purpose to reel them in. He's a freak.
Something I'd like to mention.
Yeah.
Because I said I would.
I don't think he has manipulative intentions. I think he just acts upon impulse and selfishly.
Oh yeah, it doesn't seem like he's got some like...
He's not like a psycho.
Big plan.
No, yeah, he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot.
He can't decide what he wants.
No.
And it's not fair.
And he doesn't... He, like, the way they think, like, oh my god, why is he acting like this? He doesn't know, you know? Because she's like, oh, what are you doing? Why did you come here just to play... Like, just to play guitar while I'm trying to sleep? Yeah. You know, and he's like, I'm just playing guitar. And then he tries to walk out with her guitar.
I know!
And she's like, that's mine. And then he acts like it's weird.
Whoa.
He's like, oh, okay, fine, sorry. And it's like, no, why did you try and steal her guitar?
It's her guitar.
Yeah.
She needs that.
You should have bought your own if you wanted to bring it out with you.
Literally.
He's actually a
ridiculous.
freak. He's a freakazoid.
Yeah, so I said I was going to bring up, so I shall. This film does not pass the Bechdel test.
Oh, yes, this is going to be a new thing. Because we've talked about it in at least 3 episodes at this point, I'm pretty sure. And so...
Yeah, I don't know which one.
Does this movie pass the Bechdel test? No. First of all, there's only 2 characters that are female.
They don't talk to each other.
Well, 3.
Who's the third? Oh, the wife.
Oh, she. And then obviously you see others, but they're not characters. Yeah. But none of them talk to each other, and they all hate each other because of a man. Very much does not pass the Bechdel test. And they will talk about Bob.
They literally don't interact.
They don't interact once, despite being around each other all the time.
Actually, the wife and I can't remember her name.
Sylvie.
Elle
Fanning, Sylvie.
Yeah.
Sylvie. Yeah, they sort of interact, but not really, and they just say hi. That doesn't count. That's not a conversation.
Yeah. They don't talk about anything for longer than 2 minutes. That is not about man, which is the rules of the Bechdel test, and they do not pass.
Also, someone we haven't mentioned yet. That random girl who went to that party with.
Oh my god!
Because we had a journey. She doesn't count as a character.
Yeah, she does.
How?
I don't know what her name was, but...
Exactly. Again, very much does not pass the Bechdel test because we don't even know her name. But and we just watched this film. But he goes to the thing with her, and it seems like he's introducing her to everyone as like a girlfriend. And then they leave, and she's like, "Oh, you're doing this tour, and I didn't even know." And she's like, "Oh, you know, you're gonna leave me and all this." And he's like, "Oh, they're trying to control me. Are you trying to control me?" And she's like, "I love you." And he's like, "I don't even know you." And then he walks away, and then we never see her again. So did he know her?
I don't know. When did they meet?
Is she actually like a rando, like a fan, and that's why she like thinks she loves him?
Or, she did not say it in the way that I got that vibe.
She said it like they'd been dating for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like, I feel like it could have been that they were in a long-term relationship, and it's just like, well, the important part is that he goes to Sylvie. The important part's not.
Yeah.
You know, and then he goes straight to Sylvie's house. And also, we were confused because at this point, it hadn't told us yet that him and Sylvie broke up. We'd just seen her cry when he played Times Are Changing at the Newport Festival. And so we were like, oh, is he dating Sylvie? And he just introduced everyone to this other girl at this event.
I know, I was so confused. Well, at first, I thought she was like his assistant or something.
Yeah.
And that
you know what I think is interesting, though? Yes. Sorry. I know, I just interrupted you.
I didn't. That was the end.
Oh, okay. So she cries when he plays Times Are Changing. Seemingly because she thinks like that he's grown out of needing her in his life. But the song is clearly about like not her, you know? The song's about like, in my mind at least.
Yeah.
The song's about society, music, but mostly you know, because he's all for like he's trying to promote racial equality. So to me it's talking about like society changing, and he's saying like, oh, you need to like get used to the fact that society's changing.
I didn't really listen to the lyrics.
No, but that's the vibe I got with everyone being so excited.
I didn't get the vibe
that it was about her.
That it was about her.
I know. But that's the bit she cries at. Why wasn't she crying when he was singing with the girl? Because she's not on stage with him at that point.
Yeah.
She leaves. They play together on her set, and then she leaves, and then he plays that song, and then Elle Fanning cries. I get why she cries a second time when he's singing with her, because again, they only had one microphone for some damn reason. When they're live on tour together at a smaller venue, they have 2. So why at the folk festival did it have to be intimate?
Yeah, I don't know. it was weird, and also
yeah.
I forgot.
And another note about the live show is, why did he argue with her live on stage? If you don't want to play the song, you could have politely whispered to her, like, please, I really don't want to do this one.
Yeah.
Or something, and maybe she would have been
also,
like...
why did he walk off to begin with?
And she's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm right here.
I'm right here. I'm like, yeah, what?
Why are you playing these games?
No.
Just because she kicked you out? Just because she kicked you out because you were being a dick? Also, I really like this is so far behind where we are now. I like at the beginning when he's playing in the studio and he keeps moving away from the microphone. Like, how did he not know he wasn't supposed to do that?
We're still into it.
Yeah, and then he's like, also when they first come in, he's kneeling on the ground of the studio.
I don't remember that.
For some reason, I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, Elfine's character was like, oh, like, your whole album's covers, and it's like proving a point to him. And like, and then she's just like, I want to go see Bob play. I want to go see Bob play. Like, what happened to you?
No one wants to go see Bob play. Actually, lots
true.
of people like Bob.
I'd quite like to see Bob play.
Yeah, that'd be
kind of cool. Yeah. Anyway.
No. Hey Bob, we saw that movie that was about you.
Yeah, and he'll be like, okay, I'm so famous. Is that really what you know me for? And I'd be like, yeah, like kind of.
Yeah.
That and having made songs that I like the covers of. No, this movie made me realize, like, I did know Bob Dylan songs, and this movie made me realize how much I actually should listen to them more. I just don't know that many, but...
Well, like I said, on the train.
Yeah.
I like to listen to some more blues music.
Because Kai was so excited about Jessie.
It was a vibe. I was enjoying that.
I like the song with the hammers.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the song with the hammers.
I was like, oh my god.
I like the song with the hammers.
And they're like...
He got that soul voice.
Oh,
good. Have you watched? No, you wouldn't get the reference. That's okay. My notebook fell. That's why I'm not making any points.
Why didn't you pick it up? Because I've kind of run out.
Sunglasses.
I did quite like the sunglasses.
I like the sunglasses.
They were a vibe.
They helped him with his whole.
They made him look like
situation.
he was hungover constantly.
Yeah.
Maybe I just think that about sunglasses on a day where it's not sunny.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Or just like 2016. And you can wear an outfit that looks like you'd be wearing sunglasses, and you cannot. Like, sometimes I think people who are hungover are clearly wearing outfits that a hungover person would wear, and not someone who actually is just wearing sunglasses.
True.
Like, he's wearing like a leather jacket. He looks like he's dressed up for the cold, and then he's wearing sunglasses. Like, you're hungover. That's, yeah.
Literally.
Although he wasn't much of like a alcoholic seemingly in this.
No. I don't think he was hungover. I just made him look like he was.
They started, like, once they did the time skip and he comes back and he's, like, annoyed at everyone, I thought they were really going to go, like, on a he becomes an asshole, he unravels, everything's a mess thing, and they didn't. That's what is interesting, I think.
I think it's real to life, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did that.
No, but you know what I mean? It seems like that's the route
that it was going to go.
That he's going to go down, is that everything's going to unravel. This is something I wrote that I actually want to talk about. He's kind of like, in my mind, I don't know if you'll understand what I mean, but in the vibes of when he like speaks on stage and stuff, he's like the more PG, obviously, folk / rock and roll version of Johnny Rotten. If that makes sense.
I kind of see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the way he's talking on stage sometimes, and he just really gives that energy, you know? Like, especially when he's like, being like, oh no, we don't play that song unless you got the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see.
But if you think about it, like, he kind of is like, you know, the whole point of punk is like challenging. Well, first of all, like, he's against like fascism and he's trying to like change the world. And if you think about
maybe he should go punk.
Well, for that time, he basically did. If he went any more punk than he did, they'd all be vomiting all over the place. So they'd be having strokes in the stands.
That's true.
Can't even throw any cans if you're having a stroke.
Well, is that what they were throwing? I was wondering. I don't even know.
Something.
It looked like glass.
Typically, people say, like, you get
bottles.
bottled.
Yeah.
So I assume it was bottles. I love that when he comes off, Bobby's like, you okay? You okay? Did you get hit? Like, Bobby's backstage just, like, supporting him, and it's really funny.
I know.
He's just backstage, and he's like, oh.
I kind of love him.
I love Bobby.
He's so funny.
I love their friendship.
I know.
Because you don't really see them
You don't see
to each other
become
much.
friends.
No.
They're just like, always together after
They
that.
just meet, and then they're always together, but you don't actually see them have conversations with one another.
No.
Do you know what really, like, I was like, oh, he's such an arse when something happened, is when, what's he called, Al?
Yeah.
Al Cooper. He's, like, talking about his polka dot shirt, and Bob Dylan's like, take it off, you look like a twat. And then he steals it.
I know.
And I'm like, oh.
He leaves the house with it. And I'm like, you can't.
He puts it on and then like goes out to like talk to Johnny Cash. In my mind, I'm like, you're such a fucking twat. Like, you just said that because he's more interesting than you. Literally. Al's just more interesting than him, and he wants to be the most interesting. Bobby's, he's powering on his own. So
it's true.
Yeah.
And he's written every song that is popular or something. I can't remember what you said in the video. Obviously. Well, yes, obviously.
Because he played Toxic.
Although, I do think it's really funny how he made that joke, and there are so many people covering
his songs.
The problem is, it's just funny. He's everywhere.
Some of them, I'd believe. You know what I mean? Because, like, what? Like, Jimi Hendrix did, like, a funk, electric funk vibe of All Along the Watchtower. Yeah. It wasn't funk. No. I don't know what it was. Bluesy, but electric. Not funk. I was thinking of other songs by him when I said funk.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, though. He did his version, which isn't much like Bob Dylan's music. And, because I've heard All Along the Watchtower, and it's not like the electric stuff as much. Maybe, I don't know. And then, obviously, My Chemical Romance did Desolation Row. Mm-hmm. They did a punk version of Desolation Row.
Nice.
Kind of. New punk. Not old punk, but yeah. And then...
Maybe, if I'm correct.
In my mind, Johnny Cash is nowhere on the same level as Bob Dylan.
Talent-wise.
Music-wise. Like,
I don't actually...
Musical relevance-wise.
Many, or if any.
I know Hurt. That's not by him.
But I don't think I've heard that properly.
The problem is I think we're just not cultured. So it's like, I liked music by the Sex Pistols, and I didn't know anything about the Sex Pistols, and then we watched Pistol, and then I researched a bunch about them and found out a bunch about them. It's like, if I know about something, I look really into it, and if I don't know about something, I just don't look at it ever until I find a reason to, if that makes any sense.
That's right.
Because, like, I didn't know anything about NWA until I watched Straight Outta Compton the other day, and now I want to, like, find out more about them, because it was interesting. But if I, and like, now I want to know more about Bob Dylan. My brother's naming all his fish after NWA members.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
I miss your fish.
I miss them too.
They were so cute. You used to post about them on your stories, and then one day they were just gone.
Did you know why?
Speaking of, I hope my butterfly's okay.
Yeah, I hope my butterfly's okay too. Do you know why this fish
wait, actually, to all the GRZLY listeners, I got a pet butterfly, guys. Well, not on purpose. It appeared in my room. Yeah, but it's been like a week now. How did we get to this topic of conversation?
I don't remember. It's been a while since we've talked about the movie.
Yeah. Maybe we should just do our Letterboxd.
That's true.
I put everyone's shocked that he's becoming an arsehole, like he hasn't been an arsehole the entire movie.
Yeah, real.
Which is true.
Are you going you're gonna go through your notes real quick to check?
Yeah.
You do have like 20 pages.
I love the bit where he like really sassily...
Oh my god.
It's slippery. This notebook's slippery. I love the bit where he like really sassily grabs the electric guitar when he's like going on stage and like, oh, which one do you want? Because Bobby keeps being like, which one do you want? Wanting him to take the electric one because Bobby's an icon. And, like, he keeps taking the acoustic. I love when he points at the acoustic with his foot.
I know, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. I
do love that bit.
I'm good.
You done?
I think I'm done.
Cool.
I know we didn't maybe say very profound things about this movie.
I can't lie. I thought this episode was going to go so much worse than it did.
I think it went great. Maybe we talked a lot about things that weren't the movie.
But I don't know why you worry about that. I think it's...
Because some people don't understand the things we reference. People who like movies, sometimes, I think. Like, we talk about old movies, and then we talk about things that don't make sense to people who...
just know the movie, okay.
Like old movies, But anyway, but we really enjoyed this movie. I, for one, really, really
It was very good.
I was so excited to see it, and I was sad that you didn't seem that excited to see it.
I have some things to say.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Managed to go.
It's been a week, guys. I've been ill for like 2 weeks non-stop. My projects were due today, and so I've been doing like all the work. And then, don't get me wrong, I really wanted to come see this movie with you. I was really excited, but it just fell at a time that I was really stressed, and so I was.
I felt like yesterday, and that's why I wanted to move it today because I was like, he'll have done.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that.
And
I
thought that you'd feel better, but
Well, I was
almost died at the beginning.
I was coughing and I had a headache during the whole film.
It's not.
I really did enjoy the film, and after we talked about it, and after I got some energy and didn't feel ill anymore. Oh,
there was something I was going to bring up, actually.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
But so when Joan first came in, and it was before Elle Fanning, I knew Elle Fanning was in this movie, and when Joan first came in, I thought she was Elle Fanning, and I was like, wow, she has brown hair in this. She looks really good with brown hair, and then it was someone else. But I do think that Elle Fanning looks good as a ginger.
True.
Not ginger, but like kind of ginger, but kind of blonde.
True.
And
yeah.
And you don't agree with me that they looked similar. I know.
I don't. I'm looking
I
now.
thought they did in the movie. They might not in real life. I thought they did in the movie. Yes, I don't see it there, but I see it in the movie.
I mean, I don't know.
Because I was like, oh my god, he has such a type because they look so similar. And then Kai was like, no, they don't. And I was like, oh.
They really don't. I don't.
Maybe
you
I'm
said
crazy.
it. Sometimes I see.
In the movie, I saw it.
I didn't see.
Sometimes you see. Yeah, but some people just don't understand me because I do be comparing people that.
It's a real her and him.
You know how people say like nowadays everyone in movies and stuff is like way more attractive than like yeah.
yeah.
Wow. You know what I mean. You know what? I don't need to finish my sentence. I don't need to finish. You know what I mean.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm getting my letterbox up. You want to go first?
I don't mind.
Yeah, go first.
Okay, so I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
And my review was I giggled inside every time I saw that banjo.
Yes, I love the banjo. That's good.
The banjo was
why isn't it letting me see my review?
Do you want to read it on mine?
No, don't spoil it for yourself. My review, 4.5 stars and a like, because I liked it.
Yeah.
And I put, Kylie must really love him if she was waking up to those fingernails tucking her hair behind her ear. What?
That's so funny.
You didn't look like you found it funny.
I had to process what you said and I was like, wait. Ah! Yeah. That is really funny.
True. Because everyone was saying that, it took him like 5 years and he was method acting and whatever.
Yeah. So,
because they've only been together like a year.
Yeah.
So he was deep in the method acting when they got together.
Yeah.
Them fingernails.
They haunt me.
And now, also, like, she's still with him talking like... and slurring all his damn words together.
Okay.
Anyway, we have a plan. Should we just spoil the plan or not?
Yes, I think we should spoil the plan. Because, does it really matter? No.
Okay. Then, basically, I won't spoil the plan completely, actually. But we're going to interchangeably release...
don't say the movie.
A movie that
series.
Has four films.
Yeah.
And we are going to
do some guessing.
We're going to interchangeably do the movie and then a different movie and then the movie and first part, different movie, second part, different movie.
Yeah.
So that it's not like completely repetitive, but it's still frequent.
Maybe we should do the first one first then.
You think? That's fine by me.
Yeah,
and
because I'm really excited.
One episode we have planned is really special, particularly to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited for it. But I have watched that film a billion squid.
Guys, this list is top tier, I think.
I think there's some movies on there where we'll talk more about the movie. Like, I know lately we've been talking more about, like, other things. That movie that I'm talking about, that's special to me, we're going to be talking about that movie.
Oh, yeah.
The movie.
You don't need to go on side rants with that movie. You really don't.
It's my favourite thing in the world. Well, we're doing our best, guys. I know it's kind of a mess. Sorry. We have a lot of things going on in education-wise right now. Yeah. And so, yeah, things aren't going to be the most
This is so funny because we're
stable.
updating in this episode. It's going to come up for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, true. But anyway, probably more than 3 weeks if we're being honest.
We'll post on the story or something.
But either way, we're doing our best and...
We are, guys.
In only a few months, we're going to be free to do stuff all the time.
Oh, we are. Oh, and February. So probably after this. Probably before this comes out anyway. But
February is not the prime time I was thinking of. I was thinking of...
Oh, no. But for other...
May. Oh, yeah. Some things in February will be good. Yeah, we're excited.
Oh, look who it is!
Timmy. Coopty Bay. Did a Timmy.
Oh. Coopty Bay did a Timmy.
I love Coopty Bay. I don't think it's how you say it. Coopty Bay.
What?
Because as soon as you did that, my brain went, wibble, wobble, wibble, wobble.
Cake!
Okay, no, we need to stop this. We're getting out of hand. And we're at 2.5 hours, and I'm not having a Grinch part 2. So,
okay.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I had to edit that one.
We
enjoy
had fun.
my coughs.
We hope you enjoyed watching this movie because it was a good movie. And goodbye from GRZLY.
Oh, my gums have gone numb. From the sweet. Oh, that's crazy.